see who we got down there. Let's see if we have the chocolate botanist and Kayla. Let's see. We have a couple of new guests here. We have a new guest today because Gray couldn't make it today, so we have a special guest, and we have the chocolate botanist. Let's see if we can get him in here. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Testing.
Kayla, welcome to the show. Hey, Derek, what's up? Welcome
everybody.
To the Morning Podcast. We've got our whole team here today. And I said Gray couldn't make it today. This is episode 25, so we're really happy we've gotten to 25 episodes. We have Derek, our regular here, but we have a special guest today. We have Kayla from, what's your page, Kayla?
Health Market.
Health Market. So welcome, Kayla. It's so nice to have you here today.
It's nice to be here. Congratulations on episode 25.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means we've been doing this for almost half a year. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now,
that is amazing.
Amazing.
So let's start off with Derek. What's going on with you? What's new with you, Derek?
I went to a farm tour in Cary on Saturday, and it was, you would think it was it was kind of lackluster, but I enjoyed being out with friends and seeing some plants. The farm tour, I waited an hour to go in on an 8-minute walk. I could have did myself, but I got to see my local farms. And you, person watching this, need to check out your local farmers and support them. Go, even if they give you a lackluster tour, walk around there and give them your money. So that's how my weekend was.
All right. And Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Let people know what you have going on, how they can reach you, and what's going on in your life.
So I am Kayla. I am 29 years old. I have my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. I started my growing journey with houseplants. I fell in love with houseplants. I had like 100 plus in a tiny apartment in Orlando, and I was in nursing school at the time. Left nursing school ultimately because I was so drawn to herbal medicine. And so now I have a garden and a home that it has a 1/4 acre of land, and I am growing most of my own food that I eat. I am a vegan as well. So
yes, vegan.
I rely heavily on the things that I grow, and I do permaculture, syntropic agroforestry. I have a little bit of a mix of all of them. I feel like incorporated into my garden style as well. So cottage style gardens and the gardens heavily on the things that I grow. And I've incorporated many flowers into my gardens for like cut flower bouquets and all these different crafts that I do, but mostly right now, what I'm super excited about is I did an opposite of lackluster tour yesterday with Malachi at Steven's house. So yeah, Andre was actually over there right before I got there. Crazy.
Oh, you were at Steven's place?
Yes, I did his tour yesterday. So I'm so pressed about that because my boy Malachi really did his thing. Like, it's a beautiful representation of what can be done when you start the right way. So he has built Florida sand into a productive, beautiful, rich black gold in less than a year. So I'm so excited to be able to show people the processes that go into that, and to showcase my wonderful young black king Malachi, because he is doing his thing in the gardening world. And yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I showcase a bunch of different growers, a bunch of different farmers of all races, all demographics, all gardening styles. And yeah, y'all should check out my channel if you're interested in growing anything, because these people growing everything.
They are. Now, when you say growing everything, are you like propagating plants and doing some cool stuff like that?
They doing everything. You see what
everything.
I've been to Andre's beautiful oasis twice,
Really?
like 3 times. Yes. So
And you be doing this yourself with some tools and stuff in your hands.
yeah, I be getting
You
dirty.
you be getting dirty, but you need to get your tools clean. This is an ad product. We have Retain here, and Retain right here is what you need. This cleans, it lubes, it stops rust, and it sanitizes. When you are getting your tools for your gardening, you need to keep them clean. And some things can be harsh on your tools. So you're going to go and purchase this at Retain. People in the comments type in Retain, RetainSpray.com, or on Amazon.com, or on the Walmart.com. Order your Retain today. Andre, what are we talking about?
I'll tell you what. You know what? I've found that you can use this on a lot of different things, not just tools for plants. I use tools in my garage. I use it for all kinds of applications. Anything you need to lube or clean, naturally, this is it right here. But so easypruning.com is easypruning.com you can go to. But today we're going to talk about permaculture. But because permaculture is something that a lot of people get intimidated by the phrase.
I do, because I don't know if it's like that thing that we don't do anymore because we wear our hair natural and we're not getting perms no more. You know what I mean?
All right, listen.
No, for real.
Yeah. So, but before we talk about that, I just want to let you guys know a little bit about, what's going on with me. So you mentioned you were at Steven's place. When you said Steven, at first it took a second for me to click in, but Steven has, he's doing some agroforestry, which is sort of a component of permaculture. That's a part of permaculture. So I wrap that whole thing together. Young Scrappa, listen, message me and we will get you on as a guest on the show in the future, but we can't just jump you on right now in the middle of this thing. But so Steven, and he had a problem. He had a deer problem. So he has invited me over there to, use my host skills to decrease the deer problem that he has. And I'll tell you what, I went over there and I did harvest the deer and, meat's in the freezer. And the deer behave completely different now than they did before we started hunting them. So the deer are definitely not ravaging his garden like they were before. They're very wary, and the scent of people kind of is different. They react different to people now than they did before. Before, they would eat his food and they would just, he can walk right by, they don't care, they keep eating. But now they see you or smell you and they take off. So I think it helped him out a lot. And I hope to continue helping him out. But anyways, that's a whole different ball of wax. But I just got back from Mexico.
Yes.
And I got a couple more trees in the garden now. So I think I'm complete with the trees. Someone mentioned Cecropia, the gummy worm tree. In my place in Mexico, those are weeds. They grow everywhere.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like I had to pull one out of one of the beds outside of my house. It was growing like a weed. I had to pull it out and just toss it because they're everywhere. They grow like weeds. Like literally, you could go down there. I could pull 50 of them right now out of the empty lot beside my house. Like they're just literally weeds down there. People
that is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the last couple trees that I got to complete my collection, I got a guava, I got an avocado, and I got a cacao tree.
Okay, cacao.
I feel like I am done. Cacao was the hardest tree for me to find down there. For some reason, that part of Mexico, they don't have cacao trees. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, what I wanted to talk today, what we were going to talk today about is permaculture in general. Because a lot of times people get confused about that term. But permaculture is a very sort of difficult term to sort of define because it means a lot of different things and it means different things to different people. Because permaculture is all about what the word is. It's just permanent culture. It's anything that is sustainable that we can continue to do permanently without sort of depleting our resources or sort of destroying our society, right? So there's three components to permaculture. There's earth care, which is the gardening aspect of it, but there's also people care and fair share, which is also making sure that everyone has these resources and we do things in a way that's sustainable for all people to survive. And for me, anything that you do in the direction of sustainability, that's permaculture. And Permaculture Life, that's my company, Permaculture Life. So I'm all about the permaculture, definitely. And the agroforestry that you're doing, that's part of permaculture, definitely. And do you want to maybe describe agroforestry to people so that they understand?
Sure. For sure. So agroforestry, I look at as agriculture that is in the shape of a forest. So it's growing our food in a way that mimics the natural symbiotic relationship of the forest, or the natural connection that the forest has. So it's making sure that your fertilizer is in-house, your mulch is in-house, compost is in-house. As far as growing it, there's same as permaculture, there's a lot of ways that you can demonstrate agroforestry, but it's more so changing the way that we're producing our food from a monoculture, which is just large crops of the same species, to a biodiverse system that incorporates all different types of strata, which is growing spaces in the atmosphere, and also within the soil, occupying different levels of strata. So fruit trees, annuals, perennials, all grown in a systematic way that they're all benefiting one another.
Right. And it's kind of like reducing the amount of inputs that you have to bring into your garden, right? So you're really
absolutely.
And one of the greatest agroforestry examples that I've seen is Mike Garcia.
Yes. Woo!
Mike is great.
Yeah.
Mike is great. And Mike's thing is he doesn't want to be just sustainable. He wants to be beyond sustainable. He wants to be regenerative, multiplying what's there. Which is really an amazing concept, right?
Yes. If all of the farmers did what Mike was doing, it would eliminate 90% of the problems that we have in America. I'm talking plastic, homelessness, heat, all of these different things. I don't want to get carried away, but I really got to give Mike his flowers, because he's figured out a way to do the agroforestry permaculture, like you said, beyond the limits that has been created so far.
Now I'm going to say one thing, okay? Because I love this. I love this for the small farm and for the people that are doing this on certain scales.
For sure.
At the same time, we've got to feed the world. And this is a little bit labor intensive. It's great for the environment and producing food for 100 families, 1,000 families, and so on. But I'm not sure if this is something that can feed the world on that scale. At least not in a capitalistic society.
Well, to be honest, I don't think it could feed it even in a nomadic society. And it's because
even in a nomadic?
Yeah, even in a nomadic society or agrarian society, because the reason that we have a lot of the extra inputs we do, the fertilizers we have and all these other products, is simply because we needed more nutrition provided quicker in order to feed the people. And even right now, with everything we're using, we're not ever producing enough food to really feed the world. There's always a point where we run out of food to feed the world. But with these different things that we can do on a small scale, like Andre and Kayla are saying, they're the experts. They can definitely help us out. But the person whose page you was talking about, Mike, what is his page?
I'm not sure what his page is because he doesn't post a whole lot of things.
I'm
But it's
putting it in the
Ever Oak
comments.
Farm. So Ever Oak Farm is the name of his farm. So I think that's the best way to find him. I think he does have a page, but I don't think he posts a ton. But yeah, there it is. Ever Oak Farm. Guys, check him out. What he does there is amazing. And he does what is it called? Like a co-op or something where people like sort of like invest in the crop and they get a certain amount of vegetables every single month or every single week or whatever.
Oh, that'll be dope.
Based on the production. So you invest a certain amount, and if it's a bumper crop, then you'll get more than your dollar's worth. If it's not a good crop, he hedges a little bit of the risk. But it's pretty amazing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I love a co-op. This is great. This is so great.
And I've tried to incorporate a lot of the permaculture principles and I'll tell you what, I've moved a little more towards the agroforestry because I've started growing a lot of the fertilizer plants directly beside the trees that I'm growing. So instead of having to like have an area where I have Mexican sunflower or Takahashi grass or lemongrass or the things that I'm going to chop and drop in one place, I'm trying to grow those things directly around the trees that actually need them. So I'm working on trying to become more sort of lean more towards the agroforestry. Yeah, the Mexican sunflower, that is a great chop and drop. It's really high in nitrogen and phosphorus, and it grows super fast. And the amazing thing about it is you can chop it, and in like 2 weeks, it's growing back. And it also produces flowers in the fall when nothing else is really flowering. So it's great for your pollinators that need something later in the season.
We love it. So we're pollinators and everything. Let's definitely pollinate this conversation with questions you all have for us about permaculture or anything else. We have Kayla here. She is a phenomenal woman doing phenomenal things on her property. Kayla, so where are you at in the world?
I'm in Eatonville, Orlando, Florida.
Yes, oh, you're a Floridian as well?
Yes, I am.
What? You said Eatonville. Wasn't there a famous topiary artist there? Did I make it up?
Zora Neale?
No, I'm thinking of the gentleman who did topiary art, the topiary work there, where he shaped trees. I cannot remember his name, but I'm going to search for it. So you're also a Floridian.
Yes, I am.
So you and Andre both can grow flowers and plants all year long while I can't. I'm not jealous.
Okay. We do have a question. Sonia asks, can mullein in a pot survive New York winter? That's a great question.
If it's mulched over, it might. So mullein, have either of you grown that before?
No.
Kind of.
Because
but it may or may not be it.
It's a weedy. It can be a weedy plant. Mullein is a plant which is supposed to, through ethnobotany, and this is again alleged, we're not giving out medical advice, be able to encourage like good lung health and like take care of your chest and all this other stuff.
For colds and things like that.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing, but again, it can tend to be weedy. I do grow it here because I got one plant that I liberated from somewhere. I'm not going to tell y'all where. And the seeds just took over. But my winters are not as harsh as yours. So I would envision if the plant itself dies out, there should hopefully be seed that will overwinter and then come back. So you may lose that main plant, but it would be overwinter. But I would still try to mulch it in a pot or just bring that pot inside into like a garage or something.
For a long time, I thought mullein and lamb's ear were the same.
They do look vaguely similar.
They do.
Yeah.
But lamb's ear is actually, to me, a little more teal, a little more blue than mullein. The leaf shapes are not as different. The hair is different too. But that comes with being a plant biologist. They look vaguely similar.
Giovanni said we have a show on today. I think he's from Australia. I think that's what they call ladies.
Yes, we do. We are here. We take all the people on.
See, Bridget says respiratory mullein is great for that. They used to use it for toilet paper tissue as well. Now, the plant that I have, the lamb's ear, is also called the toilet paper plant. And that's where the confusion came.
Yeah.
Where I had the toilet paper plant, the lamb, also called lamb's ear, and I thought it was also the mullein. But the mullein is different. It's also toilet paper plant.
Well, that's the thing about common names. They're common.
Yeah. I did the same thing with blue vervain and porterweed. Is that what it's called? Porterweed.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Is it? No. Someone
I have no clue.
The scientific names are different. So this is for
Really?
you, chocolate botanist. The scientific yeah, I don't know. Apparently they have different properties when you really get down to it, but they're the same name.
Jay Vocab asks, any advice for elevating squash / cucumbers aside from trellising?
My advice would be to let me tell you about trellising, because that's the idea I have. And when it comes to trellising, it doesn't have to look like the typical stuff. You can get cattle panel, I think it might be, or cow panel, and you can use that. You can string up different things, but as the vines grow, if you're cool with them being on the ground, like you just have to like find some way to like get them off of the ground with like rocks or something else. But it's just better for them to hang, so that way all of that tissue isn't just sitting on the ground. But what do you think, Kayla? Enough of me talking. Kayla, what do you think?
I felt the same, because originally, like, I see sometimes people even put like buckets or stuff like in the garden to set the fruit as it fruits on top of it, but that sitting and lack of airflow, disease. I live in Florida, so everything is prone to disease.
And that trellis doesn't have to necessarily be a solid structure. You can run 2 posts and run a rope or some fishing line or something that can run across there and hold things up. You know, you can tie, around the stem of it and let it hang, but it has to hang off the ground from something. Like, it's hard to really trellis. I've seen people use like bras, like old bras, as like to hold the fruit, something like a pumpkin or a watermelon, and attach that onto something. You have to have some sort of structure to do it.
Even like a Florida weave to hold the cucumbers, that's not necessarily you can do a lot of things with the Florida weave. You can grow flowers in between, so it occupies less space than what you would be doing if you're just trying to not use a trellis.
Right. Now, describe the Florida weave. I did that on my something I did it for a couple years ago. But tell people what the Florida weave is, so I think a lot of people are probably wondering what you just said.
So a Florida weave, you can use multiple different objects. Some people have used bamboo as the stakes. I use rebar or U-posts. Like, you just put 2 posts in the ground, horizontal from one another, parallel, and tie some type of string. I use hemp most of the time, and just a diagonal shape around both of the poles, and in between is where you have your crop. So I've done Florida weaves with pigeon pea trees, with zinnias, with tomatoes, with loofahs. It wasn't very successful.
I think I did it with okra, because you can wrap it around the stem, and you're figure eighting it all the way across.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's sturdy and it's tight, and you can increase it as the plant grows, and it's cheap. Sometimes it's free. So instead of spending all that money on a trellis or trying to figure out a trellis that fits in your space, a Florida weave, you can customize it to how wide or how narrow you need of a trellis or a stake to hold.
Now, Prozac wants to know, where can you find Mexican sunflower? Does Lucas sell it? I'm not sure if Lucas would sell it. Lucas is a big nursery over in Oviedo area, like the west side of Orlando, but the east side, sorry. But I know A Natural Farm would have it, and I have tons of it. If you ever want to come by here and get some cuttings, I will give you some cuttings. I know you're local, so if you want to come by, I have, like, what I do is I don't grow enough of it because it grows from cuttings. Like, you just get a piece, stick it in the ground, and you have a new tree. And I should have about 1,000 trees right now, but I probably only got about 15. And I really should have 100 of them, because it's free fertilizer. It's endless fertilizer, and all my trees should be stacked high with Mexican sunflower cuttings around every single one of them. And then I wouldn't have to fertilize them at all with anything.
It's okay. We got you, Andre. Me and Malachi gonna pull up and pop them in for you. We got a bunch right now.
So you're gonna need a team, though.
I've got all the trees. You just gotta cut them and stick them in the ground. I'm just lazy.
But y'all are gonna need like more people because we know Andre has like 100 people.
We're going more places, but I really should have. For years, I had like 4 trees. I'm thinking, why do I only have 4 trees? I should have 20, 30, 40.
Yeah, for sure.
Free stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
I live part of the year in Ballina, north, south, west Australia, and the other part in Boise, Idaho.
Okay. North, southwest.
We love it. That's a lot of directions.
I'm like, where do I go?
This is a great question for you, Kayla. What herbs or plants for asthma?
And before she answers that, we have to remember to say we are not medical people. We don't give medical advice. But we're going off of what ethnobotany says. And Kayla is an expert. Go for it.
So a plant that grows native and wild here that I use all year, but especially during the fall, winter, is goldenrod. That one is amazing for inflammation in the lungs, asthma, anti-inflammatory properties of the respiratory system. I absolutely love goldenrod. Cecropia actually has been used, the leaves, for lung congestion. I'm not sure if it's specifically asthma, but those are 2 for sure that are powerful when it comes to treating upper respiratory issues.
Now, it's funny that you mentioned Cecropia because people in Mexico tell me that is what they use as a poor man's devil's lettuce. Yeah, they dry those leaves and they say like when they can't get other stuff, they just use the leaves.
That is interesting. I'm definitely looking at that.
Okay. That is interesting. I know one that we have here is just hallucinogenic. Is the trumpet flower. And I actually just purchased one of those. So,
tell us about that, please.
The devil's trumpet or the angel's trumpet?
It's both.
Purple, Dominiana, I believe is the name. But
I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of a different one.
The double trumpet flower. So it makes 2 blooms. But it is still, I believe, in the nightshade family. It does resemble the egg.
Okay. So I'm thinking. Let me look that up. I'm thinking of the Datura.
Oh, the Datura what?
I'm thinking of the Datura stramonium, but it could be the Dominiana.
No. So yes, I might be right, or you might be right.
No, I think it's you. I think it's actually you because that's fine up.
Look at me.
All right. Well, asthma is a problem that you have if you go out in your garden. There's another problem that you can have if you go out in your garden, and that is mosquitoes. So Sonia's bug spray is the solution for that. Sonia's bug spray is all natural. I'm telling you guys, I use this every time I'm in the garden. I have a bottle in Mexico. I have a bottle here outside. I got my mini travel one as well. This stuff is all natural. It's made with lemongrass and a lot of other stuff, so it smells amazing. It doesn't feel like bug spray. It feels like lotion. You can literally put this on after you take a shower, and you will feel better. It doesn't feel like bug spray at all. It makes you think like it's not even going to work, but it works amazing. I've taken this all the way to Africa, to handle the bugs in Africa, and it's done great. So this is some amazing stuff. Sonia's bug spray. Check it out. You get it at soniasbugspray.com. You can also get it on the TikTok shop. I don't believe it's on Amazon. It's not on Amazon, but soniasbugspray.com, the best bug spray in the world. All right.
We love a good bug spray. So with us being here and we're talking about trumpet flowers and permaculture, again, those of you who are here, ask us your questions. We'll do the best we can. And we're just going to, chit chat and shoot it up because we doing the things. So when it comes to permaculture, Madam Kayla, what is one, if you had to give me a major key, one of them big facts, one of them gems, remember on Clubhouse, when Clubhouse came out, it's like, I would drop a gem. Give me a gem. What would you give me about the permaculture?
What would I give you about a permaculture? Ooh, Andre, your permaculture life. I'm about to alley it to you.
Here's what I would tell you. People get stuck on being too pure. And I feel like they get stuck on being too pure with everything when it comes to gardening. But
and I know that works your nerves.
About purity. It's about every little bit counts. When you take that old margarine tub and you put a plant in it and poke some holes in it, you're doing permaculture. You're reusing, repurposing something for another use. So this isn't going in a landfill. It's going to provide, a container for your plant. So any time that you do anything sustainable, that's a step towards permaculture. So I think the biggest thing people can get from that is that there's no amount that's too small for it to be permaculture.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get too hung up on it. They think they have to build swales and have 10 acres and all this stuff to be doing permaculture. No. If you got a windowsill, you're doing permaculture right there.
Yes. I was a big, I'm so glad I let you go first. That was a beautiful answer. And I wouldn't have said that. Yes, because I started out with water propagations in my windowsill using old jelly containers, like the peanut butter and jelly. So you're absolutely right. Like that is looked over a lot of times, like the recycle gardeners. I love Asian communities because they're so big on recycle gardening, and it is absolutely a part of permaculture. And we do get too caught up. I feel like especially my generation, because the thing that came to my head was Miracle Grow and like synthetic fertilizers. And I'm like, oh goodness, I'm Mrs. Pure. Because yes, it is not that deep. As long as you're doing something that closes the loop, that is slowing down your carbon footprint, reducing your carbon footprint, that is absolutely the main key. Like, yeah.
Let me tell you about a conversation I'm having currently on Instagram. So I did the video of the banana water. And not the banana water you're thinking of.
No, you drunk it.
Right, this is where you actually like carve out, after you chop the banana down, you carve out the trunk and water fills in there in about 24 hours. It's full of water. And you can take that water out, scoop it up, and drink it. Now, I'm sure that water has, some added minerals and whatever, but ultimately it's water, right? And a guy came on there telling me how that's structured water. It's H3O, and that's the water you have to drink because bottled water is bad for you.
Oh my God.
Blah, blah. And I'm thinking, this is exactly the problem in the world today, right? Like all of a sudden, water's bad for you now? Like, there's bad water? I'm like, yeah. America's got a health crisis because people are drinking the wrong water. Like, really?
America's got a health crisis because people don't know science.
Wrong water?
That's exactly it. Because I drank the water from McDonald's, let me tell you. I went to the McDonald's and I would get that McDonald's water and then all the fat came right here. All the fat built up right here, and that's why. But it's really just a scientific understanding because those H3O people, thank God I didn't see that because they drive me insane. Because it doesn't exist. It's like H3O is like snuffleupagus. It's not real. Y'all, don't excuse yourself. It's real. They make it up, and just like they think people make stuff in a lab, and they're making these things up in a lab to lead us down the road of degradation. And plants are not that way. There are some things we need to be careful of. There are some things we need to take heed of, right? But you drinking that water, I remember seeing that video. Was it delicious?
You know what? It tastes like water with like 2 drops of coconut water in it. Like,
what?
Okay.
So it was sweet. Or like it wasn't nasty.
It's very watery, but it has like a hint. Like it tastes like you just drank water out of a glass that had coconut water in it before.
See, and I was thinking it was like it's gonna be sweet and refreshing. You'd be like, that's not what happened.
It's very bland. It's like room temperature water from a dirty glass that used to have coconut water in it. That's what it tastes like. So
I would have rather
delicious. And then people act like this thing is like, like this is gonna save your life here or whatever, right? Like this time I drink water that came out of the root of a banana is magic.
It is.
Got a few minerals in it, and a few things in it, but people don't realize that like water is water unless you add something to the water. Like it's just water. And your body just needs H2O. It just needs the two hydrogens and the oxygen for chemical reactions in your body to happen.
I think that the deeper thing is people don't realize these plants are not magical, and this is a whole science. Like this is not some ethereal spiritual connection, and the plants, I eat them, I eat some spinach, and because I believed a certain way and listened to Dr. Sebi, now cancer is not going to enter my body. But it's literally just science that is the foundation of the entire world that we live in. And if we could understand that, we can move forward. But I'm really depressed that water wasn't. I thought that was going to be the best tasting because it looked so good on that picture, the video.
It was really clear. Like I put
it
my
looked so beautiful
out there too. I thought it was going to be all kind of mucky, but it was crystal clear water, and it looked like regular water, and it tasted pretty much like regular water. And and I'm sure like banana stems are full of water. Like they're almost like probably 90% water, whatever. And it just tasted like the water that was from the stem, and I'm sure it just came in from the root and from that lower portion of the plant. Just sort of push the water up like it would normally do to sort of feed all the branches up top. It probably just pushes it, but it just stops right there at the bottom.
That makes sense. And now that I'm thinking about it, it wouldn't be because it would be pulling water up the phloem, and then up the xylem, and then down the phloem. And when it goes down the phloem, that's where sugars would be condensed that down towards the root. So it would make sense it wouldn't be sweet. Now that I think about it in a scientific sense. But in my childhood mind, I'm like, best water ever. It tastes like bananas.
It's like a banana sundae.
Yes, it's bananas. It's delicious and it's refreshing. So when you want to be refreshed, though, and you want to make sure you're keeping your plants refreshed, you need to make sure you're giving them something that can be refreshing and that they can thrive on. And this is where we have Thrive here. See, Kayla don't know. She's getting hit left field. Where are these commercials coming in at? She don't know. I have my bottle of Thrive here because this is something you can use. This is a organic root and soil booster, and it has some soil amending ingredients, and it smells delicious. I spray some on myself before I go on dates because it makes me smell sexy. And it is like just citrusy, rosemary, everything. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a secret that Andre didn't want me to tell y'all. On his 2,000 acres of property, he uses Thrive. Okay? And his plants be looking good because like most of the Florida area that's not Disneyland is actually Andre's property. It's like they're competing to see who can get the most land. It's the wildest thing because he's a descendant of Walt Disney. But you should get you some Thrive on today and use it to boost your plants up. Take care of your plants. Use Thrive. Let's keep going.
I'll tell you what. Let me just tell you a little bit about Thrive. Now, first of all, I am on a 1 acre lot. I own 1 acre lot. Secondly,
it's not true.
I do have a property in Mexico, which is a 1/10 of an acre, but my plants there were really struggling. And I brought the Thrive down there with me, and I used it on my plants. I need to get more now, actually, but I used it on my plants. And I'll tell you what, everything, when I came back the next time to Mexico, my plants looked so much better. Like they were really struggling. So I'm a believer. I am sold.
Yes.
So in terms of gardening right now, Kayla, what are you growing for the fall? Did you have a fall garden that you set up?
Wow. Okay. So I just bought some seeds online from Johnny Seeds, and I put them in the ground like 2-3 weeks ago, and it was during that time that like tropical storm was in the ocean, and I was just outside gardening with my seeds in my pocket. Didn't realize that they were there as I'm gardening in the rain, and all of them bust in my pocket. So
they bust in your pocket?
Bust in my pocket. So I had to plant all of these seeds. So I have over 500 seedlings right now. I actually just had to buy a greenhouse.
Of what? Seedlings of what?
Everything. I got broccoli, artichoke,
Ooh,
burdock, Swiss chard, cauliflower. I've also been on this exotic seed, like Pokemon thing. So
ooh.
I got abu. How do you pronounce that word?
I don't know.
However you say it.
Well, some exotic fruit I've never tasted. I don't even know. I got 2 different exotic mame sapotes, a bunch of different huge chewy sugar apples. I got a bunch of Cecropia seeds. So I'm starting Cecropia from seed, or I have started. They're so tiny. So
it should grow fast from seed because I'll tell you what, like I said, they grow like weeds. It should grow super fast.
Awesome.
Now, mame sapote, one thing you need to know about that. Those fruit take almost 2 years to ripen from the time you fruit. So you're probably looking at like 5 to 10 years before you get fruit.
Yes.
And then 2 years for that fruit to ripen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm in it for the long haul with all of these things because I even got some mango seedlings that I'm starting from seed. Me and Malachi grafted my avocado tree after spending time with you. He successfully grafted the first ever successful graft. Yes, of an avocado tree seedling. We have a Catalina attached to it now. So a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, I started all those seeds on accident, but most of the stuff that I'm doing is just management. Like you said, it's a lot of labor that goes into taking care of a centropic style garden, but I am plugging my annuals in between my chop and drops of Mexican sunflower or Panadol. So it is still.
What are you doing with the Panadol? Because I have Panadol and it grows out of control. Like, what are you doing with it?
Insane. What do you do with it? It's like it's never enough uses for how much Panadol grows. So I haven't even really been chopping it. I'm literally just using it as a ground cover because it grows insane. Like even when it comes to chopping and dropping, I was just talking to Malachi about this yesterday. It will sprout, so you will get more Panadol.
Chop and drop. You know what? That's a great idea though, because I've been trying to find something to ground cover. Because I've been using sweet potato for years. But one thing I learned about the sweet potato is after a few years, it just kind of stops.
Yes, they get very straggly. They allow for weeds to creep in. Panadol is really good, and you guys should watch my video on YouTube if you're watching this, because Malachi demonstrated how the roots of Panadol stay shallow. So it literally only covers the ground and keeps it moist and acts as a temperature barrier. And when you're ready to plant something in it, it's super easy to just pull out the Panadol from that one spot and then pop in your transplant, and it allows for the roots to take over.
I've noticed that when you pull it up, it looks like it's spread out all over here, but it's one root. You pop it out, it comes right out.
Yep. For sure. So it acts as like a mulch, but it's a living mulch that isn't hard to remove. So it's like, clock it. It is a very great.
I like it. I'm going to start spreading that around too. I've got a lot of things I just need to propagate and spread around more. Someone said put it below the trees that have fruit so that when rats come, they get the scent on their hair.
Ain't no rats back there, baby. We got snakes.
Yeah. We don't have rats. We got squirrels. I need something to get rid of the squirrels. I'll tell you what, I've tried everything. And my strategy for the squirrels right now is to grow more food than they can eat.
That's a good strategy, because I got a strategy for you, but I can't tell you here. There's actually more you can do.
I'm trying that strategy too.
Yeah, there's a strategy I got. I took out a neighborhood of squirrels allegedly when I was 17. I'll tell you some stories one day.
But the problem with that strategy is once one is gone, another one comes in to fill its place.
Again, neighborhood. That neighborhood squirrel population never recovered. They never financially recovered. I think the squirrels know when I come into town because they disappear. It's amazing. I don't even have squirrels on my patio anymore. I used to have squirrels on my patio digging around, and then they was like, "We heard about you from 3 counties over," and now they don't come anymore. It's the strangest thing.
Well, I'll tell you what. I once had one of my garden squirrels for dinner, actually.
Yum.
Yeah,
Right.
it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Was it
I'll tell you what would have made it better.
What would have made it better outside of some watermelon? Sweet and spicy. I thought we were talking about watermelon because it's sweet and spicy sauce. It will get you guys.
Sweet and spicy pepper sauce, guys. You can get on Amazon. Right now, we have buy 2, get 2 free. We've
Say
never
what?
done that before. Buy 2, get 2 free. So you can get a hot and a not so hot, and you'll get a duplicate order of whatever you order.
Yes.
So check it out, AndreTheFarmer.com. It's all natural, and I guarantee it's going to be your favorite sauce to put on everything.
And Thanksgiving is coming on. And again, you can, and we trust Andre with this sauce because even though he doesn't eat watermelon, he does make a good sauce. I was a little shaky at first. I was a little, I don't know. But this is delicious. This stuff here, that's all I'm going to say because I'm going to get a little explicit.
Guys, yes, this is question and answer. Any question you have, go ahead and ask. We will answer all your questions. If you're not asking questions, then we're just going to talk like as if you guys weren't here. But ask away. Ask your questions.
Yeah, y'all are just part of this conversation. Y'all can jump in, ask your questions, or jump out and just listen to us talk. Because we just here having a good old happy play time.
So I want to ask Andre, what made you decide to buy property in Mexico?
Boy, I'll tell you what. I have a good friend who's been living down there for 10 years. And every time I visited, I loved it. Which is kind of how I got to Florida. I'd visit Florida a couple of times and I loved it. So I was like, all right, I'm moving to Florida. But I always wanted to have a house in like a retirement home outside the country. And the Caribbean was always my place because my dad's from Grenada, I'm always from Barbados. I always thought Grenada was going to be my island. But the problem is, I'll get you knee champ in a second. The problem is on an island, it's expensive to grow. They've got hurricanes and healthcare is not great. So when I realized all the benefits of Mexico, cost of living is cheap, not crazy expensive to build, super safe, hurricanes not an issue, first world hospitals, that's pretty much what sort of sealed the deal for me. And I love it. And whenever I'm down there, I love it. I'm going down there on Thursday.
Awesome.
I just love being down there. So Nietzsche, or Nietzsche. I always get that wrong. Sorry. But Kayla is filling in for Gray today. She is our guest host. She is a permaculturist, a food forester, and she has a social media page, Love Health Garden, Love Health Market.
Love Health Market.
Love Health Market. So
we will remix a name. I love it.
Great content as well.
And to the person that says they got a sister that lives in North Carolina, what part? Message me. I want some of them the Easter eggplant. That's beautiful. I need a picture. I need some eggplant in my life. Take it as you will. Send me those pictures, please.
Yeah.
Do either of y'all grow?
It's a great Thanksgiving and Christmas gift. It makes a great stocking stuffer, and it won't be 2 for 1 after Christmas or 2 for 2. 2 buy 2 get 2 free. So,
This deal is limited time.
Planting? I'm not sure I understand that question. We are all planting the same plants from ANF. What's ANF?
Is that like one of them acronyms that the kids be using nowadays?
I don't think the kids are using that one.
Did they mean ATF from Andre the Farmer? Is that what it is? I don't know.
I don't know.
How to grow water lilies inside of water.
No clue.
Has anyone tried to grow water lilies?
So here's what I would tell you, person that's like, I want to grow stuff. We don't have experience, but if you go to your local cooperative extension office, they can probably get you where you need to be. Cooperative extension.
I think you might be better off with getting a cutting. Like there's water lilies all in the backyard here in the lake here. So I think those will probably grow a little easier than trying to grow it from seed.
Oh wow!
I've heard of people doing it.
Water lily seed even start?
Like I've heard of people doing it. I've seen people doing it online, but I can't do it. So the seeds are hard. I've seen it done, but I can't remember who did it. One of the people on Instagram, there's so many people, but there's somebody I actively follow who was like, we're doing It was the Crystal. Planting with Crystal, something with Crystal. If whoever that asked that question, if you message me, I'll give you Crystal's page. I knew if I talked long enough, I'd get the answer.
All right. Poppy says, I'm in zone 8B. I'm trying to grow lavender. Also, would it be possible to get a greenhouse work in the Texas summer heat? I want to grow some of my Dominican plants, but the winters and summers here suck. Yes, you could do that with a greenhouse. In the summer, it's going to be a little bit tough because that greenhouse is going to get crazy hot. So you're going to have a lot of ventilation and fans in there. But it's possible to do. Most plants I'm not sure this is Dominican or Dominican, but it's going to be tropical stuff. So the summers they can handle. It's really going to be the winters. As long as you have reasonable ventilation, you'll be fine in the summers. But in Texas, you should be good in 8B with a greenhouse. I would definitely use some of the methods to keep your greenhouse a little warmer, like having heat sinks in there. Even a little electric heater with an extension cord can warm that whole greenhouse up. Even just a couple of degrees can be the difference between life or death for a lot of plants.
I've even seen some people use composting in greenhouses to get a lot of heat out. So like depending on what greenhouse you have, those tenants definitely work, and especially for the summers, shade cloth. Like not just any old tablecloth, but specifically shade cloth can block a lot of light. Because I know if I say that, he's going to be like, I'll just get a sheet. It's different. It's different. That's what some people will do. But you get shade cloth and that can help you out. And hit me up and I can answer your questions about that. What is the best indoor grow light to buy that doesn't breathe best? I tried to read a question and I don't.
Oh, where's that? Oh, that doesn't breathe best. Oh, wow. You know what? Listen, most indoor grow lights are going to be LEDs now, so they don't really produce a lot of heat, and I don't really find like there's a whole lot of bad ones. I think that whichever one you pick is going to be good. As long as it's a grow light, I think they're all relatively good.
Yeah, any champ. I have a link in my bio that leads you to the ones I bought, and we can talk about it offline. Pretty much, unless you're growing one particular plant and hiding it in your house, most grow lights will work for you. But for that one particular plant, you usually need a little bit more light because you're putting on more biomass. But outside of that, all of that stuff is down my alley, so just hit me up.
All right. What is the best vegetables to grow in the fall when the weather is yo-yoing from warm to cold in the state of Virginia? Now, can you grow a lot of vegetables in Virginia in the fall? I don't think you can really grow a lot.
Leafy greens, a lot of cruciferous greens and
leafy
beets.
greens. You can do carrots too, right? And
yeah, so you can do all of that. Yeah, so the weather in Virginia,
all that stuff's going down, right?
No.
To a certain, depending on what part. Like if you're in the mountains of Virginia, most likely, but it depends on what part of Virginia you're in. So Virginia is literally, the state of Virginia is an hour away from me. So like that zone is pretty much relative to, depending on where you are, relative to where I am here. So I tell people often, like when you're like, okay, what do I grow now? Cooperative Extension will tell you this is when you should grow, this is when you should be putting stuff in, because for a lot of things, unless you're transplanting, you might have missed some seed dates, but I would still put them in anyhow because climate change is real and we could just do anything at this point because the world is going to chaos. But leafy greens, broccoli, kale, carrots, beets, turnips, radishes, root vegetables, all types of things, maybe even sweet potatoes, depending on how much land you got. You can do a lot of stuff.
All right, well, Nietzsche Map is trying to grow Carolina Reapers, ghost peppers, because they've been unsuccessful doing it outside. I think in the summer, it's perfectly fine to grow those outside where you are. Winter-wise, they're not going to make it through the winter unless you take them inside. Even here in Florida, it's a little bit hard in the winter as well. Like winter, most of my peppers kind of die. Sometimes they overwinter, but they kind of go through some pretty rough times in the winter here in Florida. Poppy says, Nietzsche, yeah, if you're outside of the south zone of Texas and AZ, it's going to be hard to grow them hot peppers. They just naturally, now in my garden, when I throw the seeds there.
Melt?
So Yeah. So that's where you're trying to do an indoor thing. It sounds like you not just need a grow light, but you might need a chamber, right? So for vegetables like that, you literally need a climate controlled space. And our apartments, our homes, whatever you're using, is a climate controlled space for you, but it's not necessarily one that you can easily shift and stuff for your plants. So there's things you can buy, and then there's things that you can make. And it would take me way too long to go into it. But any champ, I think you added me, just hit me up. And you said you message me and we'll talk about it. And those of you who grow garlic bulbs, they're asking for success with garlic bulbs.
I think that's you, Andre. You grow garlic, right?
Right. So one of the keys for garlic is you probably don't want to plant them right now in Florida. If you live in a northern climate or like anything like 8 or above or lower, you can plant them in the ground now, and they're going to get that chill over winter, but they're not going to get the chill hours here in Central Florida. So my garlic, I have elephant garlic, it's in the fridge right now. I believe it's called vernalization. It's in the fridge right now, so it gets super cold and chilled for the next probably 8 weeks. And then about 8 weeks from now, I'm going to plant that in the ground, and that's what's going to allow it to bulb. Otherwise, you're going to get green onions, but you're not going to get a whole lot of actual bulbs.
That's sad. For here, I have them growing. I planted them in the ground September 14th, I believe. And they've been growing beautifully. You know, I just water, fertilize, and I have them on a patio on like a pot. So we're just going to see what happens.
Right. And you're going to get enough cold that they're going to do fine. But here, if you do it, they'll look like they're growing beautifully, but they just won't bulb.
Exactly.
Hey, Aunt Barnes, don't read that one, Andre. Aunt Barnes, just hit me up. Hit me up, Aunt Barnes. There we go. We can't read that one up here, but I got an idea for you.
My in-laws have in New York, and they are going beautiful Altho.
I have no clue what that is.
Now it's getting cold, and it's up there 2 weeks. Okay. I've successfully grown garlic and amazing onions as well. Anything above ground, the bugs just kill no matter what. And one good thing about the onions and the alliums in general is that bugs don't really bother them that much. You usually don't have a lot of pest problems with them. Sorry. It's only been 2 days. Should I pull them out of the soil? Oh, those garlic? I would probably take them out of the soil and put them. Only 2 days. I think you probably could get them back out of the soil, but they sprout really fast.
They do, but I mean, if it's under a week, you could cut that sprout off and like put them and probably trick them back into the given thing.
Okay. Well, guys, we are almost out of time. If you have any questions, get them in. But guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. This is our 25th episode. Kayla, thank you so much for being a guest and filling in. Hopefully, we can have you back more times in the future.
Yes.
Do you have any parting words? Do you want to tell the people anything how to reach you and all that stuff?
Yes, you can follow me at Love Health Market. That is Love Health Market. And YouTube channel where I show you how you can grow your own food as well as just be sustainable. I make my own cough syrups and different things like that. So if you're interested in any of the woo-woo herbalism stuff, I'm your girl. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And thank you, Andre and Derek, for having me. It was really an honor to be with y'all here. And yeah, like you said, the celebrities. I'm amongst celebrities.
Look, it's really you are the celebrity.
Thank you for coming. Derek, any closing words before we go?
So there's a couple of questions. The answers are: we are here Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Andre and Gray have a Better Gardener call for those of you who are looking to keep up with them, right? And the last closing word I have is keep growing plants, even the ones that are illegal, and tune and see us next week.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Yes, we do have a school. It's on school.com. That's SKOOL. gardener.com, and it's called Better Gardener. You can sign up for that. It's a subscription month to month. It's $10 a month. If you like what you're seeing here, join the school. We have personalized calls twice a week where you guys can do video calls. We answer all your questions, and we have a forum as well. It's a really cool community, so check it out. We will be back next Monday. I might be back next Monday, but we'll see.
I'll be here next Monday. I'll be here next Monday. I'm always here. Team perfect attendance.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye, guys. Yes. And you can catch the replays on Instagram and on YouTube. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.